Hey, how are you all? Good to see you. Let me fix that. I don't know why it always does that now. It always makes the circle very small. I don't know why. Same with the music, the opening music. How are you all? Sunday night. Sunday night. It is good to be back. Had a day off yesterday. Was not feeling very well. I'm still not 100%, but I didn't want to miss 2 nights in a row. I hope you're all doing well out there, and especially our friends in Queensland and northern New South Wales, dealing with the flooding and cyclones and giant crocodiles or sharks or whatever gets into the flood water up there. And yeah, so we got a bunch of updates to do. Yeah, I did see that there was a another airplane crash in Pennsylvania. What is going on? 2025 is the year of airplanes falling from the sky. Apparently, they just don't they don't fly anymore. They just crash. They just they they don't do what they were built to do. They seem to want to do everything else. All right, let me get this set up, and then I'll say hello to people. Apparently, there is a sort of new development in that caravan case from Sydney in New South Wales. And it is that one where they found it packed full of explosives. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Hey Marlene, good to see you. Carolina, it is great to see your name in chat. Did you know there was another Carolina in the chat trying to muscle in on your territory? I'm serious. She might be here tonight. You might have to battle her for your name. Diane, good to see you. Laurie, April, Gala's here. Moonlight Views here. Yeah, retired RN as well. The time change threw me a little bit because I was like, wait, what time did they go to? I know that you are all on daylight savings time now, and actually in a month, in 4 weeks almost, Australia comes off daylight savings. So everything has moved an hour back for me. Normally, I jump on like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to move to 3 o'clock, and then in 4 weeks' time, it'll move to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So the times are going to get shifted around, not for you guys, but for me. They get moved twice a year. So we have to move a couple of times in the summer and a couple of times in the winter. Hey, good to see you, Rachel. Good to have you here. Carolina says, "Yes, sir, I will love her." All right. Hopefully she shows up tonight. Um, yeah. All right. Let's talk about this. I want to talk about what's going on here. There's apparently major developments in that caravan case out of Sydney. And I always want to talk about this because if you don't remember, it was a caravan they found that was packed full of explosives that was just sitting on a road in Dural. Why it was there, what it was going to do, no one's quite sure. But it's a little strange. Whoa, my camera got moved. I wish the cats didn't climb up here when I'm not here. They climb all over the desk, they get on the screen, they jump on the camera, and then they always knock the camera around. So, uh, hey Marjorie, good to see you. Yeah, let's talk about this. Apparently, according to this article that just came out, police are investigating a new angle in the case of a caravan which was found loaded with explosives. For 12 days, a caravan was left beside a property in Dural in northwest Sydney before a resident reported it on January 19 of this year. An investigation revealed the explosives inside the caravan could have created a 40-meter wide blast. And police said it had the potential to become a mash? No, a mass casualty event targeting the Jewish community. They say the latest theory is that the vehicle was ditched on the roadside and fitted with mining explosives by a criminal in order to reduce their possible prison sentence. They say federal and state police have executed raids across Sydney earlier today, and they're saying that they are raiding properties in relation to this across Sydney. So the police have been very busy today trying to find more people connected to this event. We still don't know a ton about it. Like, we know a couple of people that were arrested before it was found that may be related, but we don't know who was, pulling the strings here. Who were the people that were actually financing, buying all of this explosive, the caravan? Who was actually doing this? So we might find out soon. We may find out. Um, Rachel said, "Glad to be here tonight. Hubby has been in hospital. Glad to get him home. I'm glad he's home. We don't want him in hospital. We want him back home with you." It is a very strange case. I agree. It's a very brazen attempt at trying to. Well, if they think it was done by a criminal in order to reduce their possible prison sentence, what were they going to do? Use it as bait? So they would call the police and say, "Oh, I have information on a mining explosive that could possibly damage 40 meters. I can tell you where it is if you let me out of jail." That sounds like a really bad plan. The police would probably tell you they don't believe you, and then you won't get what you want. It doesn't sound like they did get what they wanted either. Let me see if I can find here. Drural. Let's see if we can find anything in the last hour from the New South Wales media. Yeah, there is from the Daily Telegraph, actually. All right. Here, New South Wales police investing Dural caravan plot raids Sydney properties, but where? Where did they raid them? They're saying here search warrants were carried out from dawn on Monday by the New South Wales Police, the AFP, and other authorities as part of their investigation into the caravan loaded with explosives, which was found on January 19. That's it. They're saying police are investigating if the caravan was dumped on the roadside, loaded with mining explosives, in a bid by a criminal to strike a deal and reduce their possible prison sentence. Investigators from Strike Force Pearl were also involved in the raids as they continue to look into acts of anti-Semitism. Is that how you say it? Semitism. I can't pronounce it. It means like you're being really racist to Jewish people, and you're causing them a lot of distress. It's happening a lot in our country at the moment for some reason, and they think it might be coming from overseas actors. They think it might be people paying local biker gangs or criminal elements to undertake these attacks on Jewish churches like synagogues or places they go, places that are valuable to their community, and yeah, they believe it might be coming from the outside. The Telegraph revealed on January 21 that a local resident had towed the caravan out of the way and onto his property, fearing it would cause a dangerous crash because of where it was parked. I think he almost blew up his own home. The fact that he took it onto his property, he almost blew up his own property. Yeah, so that's it. That's all we know. Yeah, these two were what they described as on the periphery of the investigation. What that means, only the authorities know. And this was the street that they located the caravan on. Uh Timothy McVeigh. It is a little Timothy McVeigh. It is a little bit. Rachel said, yeah, you have to give injections to your husband. That's sad. A tinfoil will train cats not to go up there. It's a good tip. I'll try that with these two fluff balls. I will see if they do it. Yeah, good to see everyone in the chat. Thanks for being here. Hey, Glitter. Oh, by the way, Glitter's moved into her new home. I got an update from her today. Hey, Miley, how are you? I got an update from her today that she had moved into her home a few days ago, and and they're happy there. They're having a great time, and the cats look very happy, and everyone's got their own room. Everyone's moved in. So thank you to the people who helped Glitter out and supported her GoFundMe, gave her advice, helped her out. She seems to be in a better place now. So not in that bloody slum landlord, you know, tiny apartment that she was in that had no heating during a, winter and ice and things like that. Yeah, she says she's very happy. That is good work. I'm happy she's somewhere better. Her house is beautiful. I'll show you some photos later, but her home looks great. It looks like a nice, very typical American style home with like a front door, and looks like it has a great bathroom and kitchen and lots of room for everyone. Multiple rooms, which I don't think she had at her other property. I think she had like a room. So it looks great. It looks great. I'll show people in a little while. Thank God. Yeah, happy that you're out of there. That other home was no good. Okay, so that's the update on that. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll see what happens with that Dural investigation. It would be good if the cops are keeping it very secret. They even kept the knowledge of that caravan secret for over, I think it was 3 weeks. They didn't tell anyone, and someone contacted a local paper and leaked information to the paper about this explosive caravan, and it was never supposed to get out. And then questions got raised about who was leaking this information, why hadn't they told the public. So it was a big deal a few weeks ago. All right, let's talk about the Pennsylvania thing for a second. They're saying here multiple people injured as plane crashes in suburban Pennsylvania. I can't believe this. It's Manheim Township plane crash, and it's a small plane, looks like a Cessna. Let me take you over to Eyewitness News.
In Lancaster County sends 5 people to the hospital. Witnesses say the plane took a nosedive right into the parking lot of a retirement community. It is Sunday night. I'm Walter Perez. The big story in Action News is a small plane crashing in the town of Lititz in Lancaster County just minutes after takeoff. Along with the 5 people injured, the crash damaged at least a dozen cars. The heat from the fiery wreckage was so intense, one witness described it as, quote, opening an oven set to 500 degrees and the heat just hits your face. Another witness said the plane started veering left before it took a nosedive sideways and crashed just before 3:30 this afternoon. The retirement community where the crash happened sits along Fairview Drive, just a few miles from Lancaster Airport. Action News reporter Brianna Gallagher has been following developments on the crash all throughout the evening. She joins us live from the Satellite Center with details tonight. Brianna.
Yes, Walter. Well, officials are investigating tonight after the small plane went down near a retirement village in Lancaster County. Officials say all 5 passengers on board were rushed to local hospitals, but luckily no one on the ground was injured.
Rescue 1, Lancaster Tower. The aircraft is down out just behind the terminal on the parking lot street area.
Thick black smoke and raging flames filled the air after authorities in Manheim Township, Lancaster County say a small plane with 5 people on board crashed shortly after taking off from the Lancaster Airport.
Obviously, they had heavy fire on arrival from the aircraft and then had the extinguishment piece. So at this point, the incident is under control and fire is all out.
Out of caution, Brethren Retirement Village issued a shelter in place. The plane luckily did not crash into any buildings. 12 cars were damaged.
At no point on the ground was anyone injured. At no point did the plane or the aircraft strike any part of the structure.
Officials say the plane skidded roughly 100 feet after making impact with the ground. Prior to all of this, the pilot radios air traffic control to return to the airport because of a door that was left open on the plane.
Lancaster Tower, Bonanza 347 Mike has an open door. We need to return for a landing. Lancaster Tower, I cannot hear you with the wind, so we're going to return to 26. We're going to do downwind.
They respond, asking the pilot to pull up.
Pull up.
In a matter of seconds, the plane crashes. Officials are now waiting to hear from federal partners regarding next steps, while acknowledging today could have been more catastrophic.
Yeah, if you look in that photo of, if we go back, if I mute this and we go back slightly, I don't know if we can. Let's see if we can go back. There was that retirement home not even like 20 feet away. All I had to do was go like a little further, and this would have been a completely different news story. Very different. I mean, they could have flown straight into that. Residents could have been killed. Yeah, could have been a lot worse. And I heard some very sad news about the other one in Philadelphia. I heard that apparently they found the black box to the airplane, but apparently the black box was not recording during the flight and may have not been recording for many, many years. Apparently it had just not worked. So in the Philadelphia one, they don't have any information on the final moments inside of that cockpit and how, what was going on, any recordings, what were they doing. They don't have any of that information because the black box recorder was inoperable. It just didn't work. And that is very sad because it means they're normally like your last line of defense on an aircraft, especially if it's crashed like this. These are some of the biggest clues that the investigators will get, and unfortunately, it just did not work. So I don't know what's going on with airplanes. I don't know why we've had so many in the first 3 months of 2025, but it feels like every 2 weeks or so we get a crash. There was one that happened the other week. There was one that happened, the big one in Pennsylvania. There was the one before that one too. It's just been every couple of weeks we get one. Diane Marie said black boxes aren't ever tested. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be or they're sort of put into the belly of the plane and just sort of expected to work. And someone didn't catch that it wasn't working. They believe it hadn't worked for many years. It wasn't like it didn't happen just that day. It hadn't worked for a long time. Um, April B says you would think that they would check things like that on a regular basis. Yes, you would think so. I'm fine down here. The storm down here is it's fine down here. It's like 95 degrees down here and uh not a cloud in the sky down here. It is very warm. No storms here. It is just a public holiday actually down here. It's like a bank holiday type thing. No one goes to work today. Oh, there is a couple of thunderstorms, but other than that, here you go. Here's where I live. Got a thunderstorm up north and a few firing across this line, but they're all heading north out of the area. Melbourne itself is clear. Looks like there's nothing going on down here. But up north, it's a different, yeah, very light wind too. Very light winds over Melbourne. The people that have the trouble are up north. They're up here. Let's see if we can find the hurricane. There's part of it. There's part of the ex-hurricane now. Let's see if we can find the rest of it. In Sydney? Nope. Let's go to, let's go here and then let's go national. So the right side here, this is sort of what has become of the cyclone. It's sort of dissipated and just become like a tropical depression. It's already downgraded. Although if we go up into Brisbane, they are still getting a lot of rain out of Brisbane and southeast Queensland. You see all these thunderstorms and high rainfall. So they're still dealing with a lot of rain coming down. Here, if we go since 5 o'clock. Oh, this one doesn't have it. Normally we can do rainfall. Okay, we can't on this one. Yeah, other radars. Let's go to Brisbane. So we go since 9 a.m. You can see the rain, especially to near Actually, it would have been great if it was near the dam, Wivenhoe Dam. That would have been great. But you can see big rainfall. Lots and lots of rainfall. Here we go, 24 hours. There you go. That is just the amount of water that has fallen. That is one of the most crazy rainfall photos that I think I've ever seen. Plus 250 millimeters of rain in 24 hours. So bonkers up there. It's not Boxing Day, that's at Christmas, but it's just a public holiday. It's called Labor Day. Labor Day. Hey, thanks, my friend. I really appreciate the super chat. It is so good to hear from you. I'm glad you are doing better. I'm glad you're doing better. Yeah, it's pretty crazy in Queensland. April B said it should be part of the plane's maintenance. Maybe that'll be part of their investigation into why it wasn't working. So, yeah, so Queensland's going okay. They're just recovering. They're going to be wet and wild for at least another 3 days, is what I've heard. Let me head over here. I can show you some photos of what it's like over there, if I can find the big article. I can show you some photos from the aftermath. I know this one is about payments because our government's going to do some sort of disaster payment for people. That is not what I want. Go to Brisbane. Yeah. Okay. So here I can show you some of the there's our Prime Minister looking like a dork because he is a dork. Yeah, look, there you go. Cars that have been flipped over, probably in the floodwater. This is at Nambour. So this is a town on the Sunshine Coast, but sort of, I think it's more inland and north. It is a place called Nambour. There's a train station down here. If you keep going down this road, there is a train station that is I think it's the only train line on the Sunshine Coast. So if you want to catch a train, you have to come to Nambour and get on the train to go to Brisbane. But you can see you can't get there because it has been flooded. The bridge has been overcome with water and you can't get to anywhere downtown. So a lot of flooding. There you go, some more flood. People caught in their cars, and yeah, a lot of stuff like that. A lot of rain. Although this one, apparently, a dog owner abandoned their property and left more than 20 dogs in the home and property that were suffering from abuse and medical issues, and just left them there in the hurricane. So a charity called Lucky Paws Dog Rescue had to come in and rescue all the puppy dogs and get them to help. And this stupid person, I don't know what they were doing or why they had so many animals, but they just left them there during the hurricane. Very, very selfish. Don't have so many animals if you can't take care of them. Yes, last night there was over 240,000 properties without power. That has lowered today to 200,000. So that's 40,000 people that now have power again. But yeah, if you look at this image, downed power equipment down on the road, a lot of trees, and so got to be repaired before people get power. And they're also saying to be careful. Brisbane floodwaters so there is wastewater and possible sewage that has been put into the wastewater. So got to be careful. Don't be walking through no floodwater. You might be actually swimming or walking through raw sewage. So be careful with that. And yeah, lots of drivers being rescued from floodwaters. They're telling people if you don't have to go out, don't go out. Stay at home. Don't be driving around. That type of thing. So there's your little update from the cyclone. Seems like most people are doing okay. You know, going to take a while for everything to get back to normal. Although I hear shops are open and people who need food, they're able to buy food. There's places open again. So that is good news. All right, back to some true crime. Now I want to take you out to yes. I want to take you out to Chicago. Now, this is a very strange story, and we'll talk about it a bit more after you watch this video on it. I'll tell you some more details.
Well, detectives returned to the crime scene here earlier today. They really did walk the block, presumably looking for security camera video. They did enter the home briefly, took a few more items out and evidence. This, as the Cook County medical examiner this afternoon did not officially ID the victim, but they did say that the nature of the death was classified as a homicide and that the victim had been shot in the neck and chest. Some residents in this North Lawndale community are on edge tonight after one of their neighbors is found dead inside his burning home. This woman was so shaken by the violence, she asked not to be identified.
It's just scary for us because we don't know nothing that happened. You know, all we know it was a fire, and then we found out that, you know, it's a body in the basement.
The gruesome discovery was made inside this home in the 2300 block of South Kirkland Avenue on the city's west side. It all unfolded Friday night around 9 o'clock. That's when firefighters who had been called to put out a blaze in the basement of the home did so, only to discover the dismembered body of a 68-year-old man who lived there. Sources familiar with the investigation say both of the victim's arms and one of his legs had been severed. Authorities gathered evidence from the scene, but have not said what sparked the fire or how the victim died. Chicago police have launched both an arson and homicide investigation.
They were breaking down the windows next door. And yeah, there were firefighters everywhere. There was so much going on.
Neighbors say the man rented the home and lived there with his 2 adult sons. They say the family was relatively new to the neighborhood and had only been on the block for the last 2 years or so. And while the investigation into the heinous crime continues, some in this usually quiet neighborhood have been left shaken and afraid.
That's scary and spooky, and it's just, you know, I can sleep. It's crazy.
Yeah, many residents really left shaken by this heinous crime. In the meantime, police are asking anyone with any information to make sure that they contact Area 4 police detectives who are continuing their investigation.
So, a man dismembered, missing arms and legs, and then a fire. What the hell and why? They're the questions that I have. He was a older man, almost 70. He was 68 and found inside the home, police said. The man's cause of death was from gunshot wounds to the neck and chest. Okay. They say sources familiar with the investigation said both of the victim's arms and one of his legs had been severed from the body. Some residents in the community say they are on edge after the gruesome discovery. Yeah, I would be too. So, I agree with your questions. Where are the 2 adult children who lived at the home as well? So, not only was he shot, they dismembered him, then they set fire to the home. So, it's a possible arson and a homicide investigation. So just before 9 p.m. on Friday evening, they located that home. And yeah, I don't think you're able to cut off your own legs and then set fire to your own home. I mean, you might be able to, but you need like a guillotine, some sort of weird chainsaw setup, a shotgun with like, some sort of elastic band kind of contraption. So you'd have to like cut your limbs off, shoot yourself, and then turn on the gas and then set a fire. That would be a lot of effort to go through. All right, have fun with that. Marilyn Landis says, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Moonlight View says, always adopt, don't shop. You're talking to the story from before. Hey, Peekaboo, how are you, my friend? Good to see you, sweetheart. Hope you're doing well. Shasta, hey, good to have you. Shasta says, I have a little dog I got that was taken from a hoarder home. Oh, I hope it's doing well with you now. Glitter says, Lynn D says to Glitter, I'm so happy that you got to move to a new place. I know, we're all happy for Glitter. Actually, let me see if there's any more details on this particular one. And I'll show you some of Glitter's photos. Here, let's go to Yahoo. A 68-year-old man pronounced dead after he was found in a residential fire Friday night in North Lawndale neighborhood on the west side was a victim of homicide. Well, it sounds like it. They say shortly before 9 p.m., officers and firefighters responded to a residential fire in the 2300 block of South Kirkland Avenue. According to Chicago police, officials extinguished the fire and found the 68-year-old man inside the residence. They say Cook County Medical Examiner's Office on Saturday ruled the man's death a homicide, saying it was caused by gunshot wound to the neck and chest. His identity has not been released at this time. Okay, well, we're going to have to wait till next of kin or something like that. Yeah, the time change. It is getting everyone. No more information. I don't have anything on the adult children, where they might have been, anything like that. So maybe they are investigating where those two children are. Like in the Saw movies. Yeah, that's the only way I could see it happening without a third party intervention. Daylight savings time sucks. I agree. And thank the Lord, we are just about to finish our, 5 months or whatever it is on daylight savings. I hate it. I hate having light until 10 o'clock at night. And now we're on our slow march to darkness and winter in Australia. So we are slowly getting to winter. I think we're losing like 2.5 minutes of daylight every day right now. So every day we're losing a few minutes of the sun. And then eventually it'll go back the other way and we'll start gaining as we go to the second half of the year. So that's just the way it works in summer and winter. But I am very happy for the cold weather. I am over the summer. I don't want the heat anymore. I want it to be cold. I want to wear more hoodies. That's what I want. Shasta says, yes, there's Marilyn. Yes. Hey, Catatonic, how are you? Good to see you. April B says, I like the extra light. I don't. I hate the late sunset. I hate the sun rising really early in the morning, like 5 a.m. Can't stand it. I love the winter. Sun rises at like 7:30, 8 a.m. You get like 9 hours of sunlight, and then the sun pisses off till the next day. Ping likes the nighttime. I'm a nighttime person. Glitter says, I'm glad we're gaining daylight. Yeah, you guys would be gaining daylight. We're losing it. So what we lose, you're gaining right now. Carolina says, we are getting to summer. You've been watching House Hunt International to learn about Australia. That'd be a good way to learn about Australia, especially housing. They might be able to tell you how expensive it is. Sienna says, I'm not looking forward to the heat. Yeah, you guys would just be coming out of your coldest period in Arizona. You survived, Alfred. Good work, Catatonic. Is your home okay? You don't have any flooding or anything? I hope not. Marjorie says, I love the light. The sun would rise earlier without daylight savings. Ugh, I hope not. Winter light is nice quality. I like winter. I like when you step outside and you get smacked in the face with how cold it is. That's the best kind of wake up ever. You go out of your warm home and it just goes whoosh, and you're like, oh my god, it's so freezing out here. Rachel says, you like it too? I don't like the late nights. I feel like when the sun goes down at like 9 o'clock, 9:30, it feels like you never get a proper evening. I don't know why, but it always feels that way to me. It feels like you just don't get a proper evening time. It just feels like, oh, well, I got to go to bed now in like 2 hours after the sun went down. Sienna says it's been warm for weeks already. We didn't get very many cold days. Well, it is Arizona, so. Catatonic says yes, flooding in the usual places. I'm up high, so okay. Especially on work days. That is right. Joe says I hate any light, like a vampire. Just like vampire. You have to live in the dark. All right, let's keep going. We have more stories to talk about. By the way, I put her on the thumbnail, and there's a reason for this. I wanted to talk about her very briefly. Sophia Franklin. Because we still don't have any new updates on her. I wish I could bring you something that was explosive, that they had found her and located her and that they'd arrested Gary Day. But I can't tell you that because everything has gone very quiet. There's not a lot of media on it anymore. Her name is just hanging around. Here, I'll show you. It's still on the Amber Alert. Out of 3 different places in the USA, Wisconsin, Arkansas, and Missouri. But no new information, no new sightings of either of them. Very concerning. The last update we have, the vehicle was seen on the morning of the 3rd of February 2025 in Wisconsin with a Pennsylvania license plate on the 2nd and 3rd. And they did see them driving through Missouri at one point about a few days after that one. But since then, no updates on that vehicle, no updates on where they might be. Don't know. Ping is convinced that someone must be helping them, that they must have help from someone who is sheltering them. So if you see them, report it. Yes, she would be 4 months pregnant by now, and I think her family would like her to come home. I think the family would like her to get a medical, make sure that her and the baby are okay. It is alarming that no one has seen them yet. Robert Wone? Yeah, I know that story. That's the one where Robert went to stay with some friends because he couldn't make it home to his property after work because he worked in the city. So he stayed with 3 friends and somehow he ended up dead in a bedroom of the home and was stabbed to death, right? And he was fully clothed. They couldn't find any blood, which suggests that someone had washed him down after being killed. Yeah, very, very interesting case about that one. April B says, I think about her often. I agree. Retired RN says she needs her prenatal care. She does. And it would be great if they could find her so she could have that care. Marjorie said, I can't believe they haven't found her yet. I know. Rachel says, I can't believe they haven't found them yet. Someone is hiding them. I agree. I think they are getting help. They must be. Because there's so many people aware of her Amber Alert that they would be located. Yet no one has been able to find them at all. The last update I have is over 2 weeks ago now. 2 weeks ago from a local news channel. And that's it. No other information. Although this is her mum here, actually, if you guys want to hear it. This is her mother, Leah.
New here at 10, we're hearing from the family of Sophia Franklin for the first time since she went missing more than 2 weeks ago. Her mom, Leah Franklin, is worried for her daughter's safety. She says the 16-year-old made a habit out of contacting strangers online. That included having multiple burner phones. This prompted multiple arguments between the 16-year-old and her parents. Sophia then moved out in July. Leah says she and her husband felt giving her time away from them would eventually help bring her back home. She told her parents she was with a friend in Beaver Dam and continued to work at a McDonald's. In December, Leah received a phone call from police that Sophia was staying with 40-year-old Gary Day at his home in Arkansas.
We would specifically talk about scenarios like this to her when you're sitting down and saying, you can't do this. These are the things that happen when you do this stuff. And she's like, oh, yeah, no, I would never. Well, I don't know what made her switch, what switched in her head to make her think this was a perfectly okay situation.
Sophia and Day are said to be traveling in a 2014 black Buick LaCrosse. You see it there. Leah Franklin is urging people to call police if they have any information.
And that is the last article and video I have anything about her or Gary Day. If I search either of them, there's just no updates, no anything. It worries me that eventually we're going to find out some very bad news, and I hope that's not the case. I hope they're being kept somewhere on a rural property where people just aren't able to find them. But she really needs to go to her doctor, get a checkup, especially being this is her first child, so she's never gone through a pregnancy before, and she's never gone through childbirth. So she really needs that medical supervision and care and stuff like that. Oh, yes, could be. Marilander says, Mum doesn't seem to be so upset about the situation. Her mum's emotions are a bit weird, but maybe that's just who she is. I don't know. Marlene says, a little too late now. Does the mum have rocks in her head? My mum would never have let me out of her sight. Not at that age where they're very impressionable and very, well, we found out the end result of that. She's now pregnant with her groomer's child. So, I mean, yeah. Carliza said, my team was super responsible. I found out things that they should never have been exposed to. We had controls and everything. Yeah, the teens are very clever. Jojo says 1 AAE. I don't know what that means, but it could be a code. It could be some sort of like, Cold War era code. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen with Sophia, but I would love to see her go, even if she doesn't want to go home, that's okay. She just needs to be away from Gary. So if we can get her away from Gary and get her some medical care, that would be great. I understand that her and her parents don't have the best relationship. That's not uncommon with young women. Oftentimes they go through that during their teenage years. They often rebel or just think their parents are restricting them. It happens pretty frequently. So, yeah. This is one of the other ones. Missing pregnant teen and 40-year-old father. Hey, I don't want to subscribe. 40-year-old father of her child may be in Missouri, according to the police. A multi-state Amber Alert involving the disappearance of a 16-year-old girl and the father of her unborn child now includes Missouri. They say Sophia Franklin, last seen in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin on February 2nd, may be traveling through Missouri with her accused kidnapper, 40-year-old Gary Day, and that's according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Troopers said February 12 that Franklin and Day, who authorities say impregnated the teen, could be traveling through Boone, Cooper, Howard, Morgan, Pettis, or Saline counties on their way to an unknown location in Arkansas. They say Amber Alerts were previously issued in Wisconsin and Arkansas. Day lives in Lonoke County, Arkansas, or Lonoke County. Day was driving a 2014 black Buick LaCrosse and has been using multiple license plates, an Arkansas one, BBR20L, and a Pennsylvania plate, KGW 5186. Police in Wisconsin said there was a no contact order between Day and Franklin before the two disappeared. Franklin and Day met online in April of last year, according to a criminal complaint obtained by WITI. The teen previously left with Day and was with him for months before returning home. While in Arkansas, their relationship turned physical because they know it was illegal in Wisconsin and Illinois. Even after Franklin first returned to home in December, Day maintained contact with her and threatened to harm himself because they were separated, according to the criminal complaint. Day was charged February 4 with 2 counts of abducting a child and 2 counts of child enticement, according to court records. The missing child's mother, according to WLUK, said before her daughter disappeared, she'd been dealing with hives on her arms, legs, and even face. Franklin, who is 3 months pregnant, also struggled with morning sickness. In short, Sophie needs to come home and continue with the medical care she has been receiving for herself and her baby, according to her mum, Leah. Sophia is described as 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing 186 pounds. Investigators say she has brown hair and brown eyes. Authorities say Gary Day is 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing 165 pounds, and has balding blonde hair and green eyes. Her mum says, "We don't know what to do other than wait and pray. It's torment." So they would like her to come back and get her natal care for, her pregnancy. You're here all the time? I don't think anyone wanted to block him. Carolina, it's fine. He's fine. Just, guys, sort it out yourselves. You can talk to the people you want to talk to. You can not talk to the people you don't want to talk to. But we're not going to block people because they have an opinion. Wendy R says, "Do you think he has enough brains, or at least to buy her some prenatal vitamins?" I don't know. There has to be something in that bald head of his. Looks like a bowling ball. Has to be something in there. Is it brains? Is it crackers? Don't know. Could be either. Not sure. Don't know the guy. Could have crackers, could have brains. Not sure. Marjorie said, "Stories like this make me grateful that my youngest is 25, and somehow they all managed to get through their teen years relatively unscathed. So scary. Hives could indicate an autoimmune response." It could be. That's why she needs the medical care. You ask tough questions. Never let them go, Joe. Keep asking those questions. Snap, Crackle, Pop. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Khaliza said she probably had highs from all the stress from her boyfriend manipulating her and fights with parents. It's a lot for her, especially while pregnant. Yes, it very much could be from the situation. I hope we get more on her soon. I would like a good ending to this one. Too many bad endings with these type of Amber Alerts. So, all right. All right, let's go to Massachusetts, maybe. Let's see if I can get this. If we can load this up, we will talk about it. Okay. Sometimes we have problems with news agencies. They're very racist against Australians. Very racist. Let's see. All right, maybe we'll do this one instead. Baytown murder suspect Googled, "Can I kill an illegal human before fiance's death?" What is an illegal human? How do you do that? A Baytown man has been arrested months after his fiance's murder. The man is called Ty Vaughn. He's 31. Shot and killed 27-year-old Luis Norberto in the face on January 14, then tried to make it look like an S word. It happened inside their second-floor unit at the Crosby Green Apartments on Crosby Cedar Bayou Road. According to the court documents, Vaughn told investigators he'd been arguing with Norberto before coming home to find him dead. But after viewing surveillance video and interviewing neighbors, detectives soon pieced a timeline together. We'll go through the timeline, but first I'm going to play this video about it. That was his Googling. Can I kill an illegal human before he killed, allegedly, his fiancée. That is a weird thing to type into Google.
An arrest in a months-long murder investigation. Tonight, our exclusive conversation with the suspect, Ty Vaughn, accused of shooting his fiancée in the face in January and then staging it to look like a suicide. ABC 13's Luke Jones is live tonight with the story.
Tom, we spoke to Ty Vaughn on the phone 3 weeks after the murder. At that point, his fiance's death hadn't even been ruled a homicide. And although police were looking into Vaughn, they hadn't yet named him a murder suspect. That all changed yesterday when he was charged with murder. And tonight we could finally reveal all the disturbing and baffling allegations against him. Police say 31-year-old Ty Vaughn's stories never added up. He first told investigators he'd been arguing with his fiancée, 27-year-old Luis Baños Norberto, then came home the morning of January 14th to find Norberto dead in their unit at the Crosby Green Apartments. But after viewing surveillance video and interviewing neighbors, detectives soon pieced together a timeline. At 4:05 a.m., when Vaughn claimed he wasn't home, Vaughn was seen walking up the stairs to his apartment. Two neighbors then heard a gunshot. At 4:27, he texts his fiancée, who's already dead, "Babe, why are you not texting back?" Then at 5:38, 93 minutes after the murder, Vaughn finally calls 911, telling dispatchers, quote, "My spouse is dead. Help. My life is over."
If it happened right next door, and it's even more nerve-wracking that could happen, and then we had no idea it even happened.
No one except a cat at Vaughn's apartment today, but the morning of the crime, police say they found the victim's body lying on a bed, a rifle propped up against one of his arms, and nearby, a torn-up picture of the victim and suspect. They're now accusing Vaughn of moving the victim's body and staging things to look like he'd killed himself. In interviews with police, they say Vaughn repeatedly brought up his fiance's immigration status, unprompted, and when they searched his phone, they found he'd Googled, quote, "Can I kill an illegal human?"
That seems like a pretty weird thing to do. You bring up in your police interviews that they're illegal. Did you think somehow that the Trump administration would be like, "No worries, sir, you're doing a great justice to our society and are now part of our Team Doge or whatever"? No, I don't think so. I still think you can't kill anyone. I think, there's obviously some reversal of soft immigration policy, but I don't think you're allowed to just be like, "Yeah, sure, let me do that. I'll just kill him." Yeah, straight to jail. That's right, straight to jail. And I think they mean an illegal immigrant, not an illegal human. I'd love to see someone charged with that. Sir, you have to come with us. Why? What have I done? We're the universe police. You are an illegal human. You know you belong on Mars. You must come back to Mars because you are an illegal human on Earth. We're going to have to take you back. We need an extradition warrant. We need to take you back on a SpaceX flight or something. A Dragon, who knows? That is... Be careful out there. Don't become an illegal human. You may face charges and extradition to your home planet. All right, let's play the rest of it.
A query that left his neighbors speechless.
How could you kill a person? Not an immigrant. Is it legal to kill a person? Because bottom line is, it's a person. It's a human being.
We spoke with Vaughn on the phone 3 weeks after the murder, before he'd been named a suspect. When we asked him if he'd spoken to his fiancée the day of the murder, he replied, "I don't know. The police know all the details." We asked him what police were telling him. His reply, "I don't know. I've been kind of not great. I haven't really been going to police looking for answers." And when we offered our condolences, quote, "I mean, it is what it is."
Wouldn't he be the one who knows the answers, being that he was home with the fiancée? Seems like a weird thing to do. "Oh, I don't go to the police for the answers." No, you should be going to yourself. You're the one who has the answers. What are you talking about? Crazy person. Mr. Illegal person.
Police say it's murder, and they say Vaughn's their only suspect. Luke Jones, ABC 13, Eyewitness.
All right, so we have we have a bit of a timeline here that we can have a look at. By the way, if you hadn't noticed, I was posting a few different clippings that I found in those documents for Sarah Boone. They're on my Twitter if you want to have a look at them. I picked out just a few of the more light-hearted ones. They had a bit of an obsession with Zavgirl. They had a big obsession with you know, I don't know, thinking that she was terrible. And often in their conversations on the tablet in prison, Sarah Boone and her friend would often bitch about Zavgirl. They're like, oh, you know, she's terrible. She only has 100K subscribers. Although I admit they did talk about other channels as well. But I posted a couple of screenshots on my Twitter. Hey JDR, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well up in Canada. Snapcrackle Bop says, it is what it is. How cold-blooded. It is, especially for someone who's supposed to be your fiance. I think it was lighthearted compared to some of the other things, but she spent most of her time in jail. If you read these messages, she spent most of it begging people for money, begging people for credits on her tablet, abusing her ex-husband, and bitching to him about not getting money for commissary, and trying to find weird quirks in the law and other cases that would be similar that she could refer to in court. What else did she do? Oh, also bitched at other people. A woman named Christina Pena, probably pronouncing that wrong. Bitched at her for not giving her enough money either. And she just had these roster of people that she would complain to that she didn't have enough money or couldn't order things while in prison. She had a favorite. One of her friends would send her Skittles, like at least once every few weeks. She'd get a bag of Skittles from her friend. So she had an interesting. Unfortunately, the messages stop in September of last year, and I don't have the ones past that, but they are very interesting. Maybe one time we can go through them together again. Retired RM said viruses and illness can sometimes, ketoacidosis. That is true. Nonalana says, hi guys. Hi, how are you? Juicy Jill says, people lived. Yes, people did live sometimes. JDR says, just because someone has a lot of followers does not mean they are ethical. Some people show up and it's gossip and drama from the audience. Well, that's one of their big complaints, is that it was a lot of gossip and rumors. Zavgirl, Z-A-V, she's a YouTuber. Often does cases or something. I'm not sure. I've not watched her channel very much, but I know that she got in trouble a while ago for posting Gannon's autopsy photos behind a paywall, but that was a while ago now. Yes, so Glitter's in a new home. All right, let me show you some of Glitter's photos of her new place. If I can I do it like this? Yes, I can. All right. So this is one. I hope these are okay to show. I think Glitter said it's okay. So it's a bit bare bones right now because I think she used to live in such a small home, so she's waiting to get more things. But this is the big bedroom. She's got a big bedroom for herself. Let me load up some more. And it's got like a lovely entranceway. You guys will like this one. If I can. I've got too many tabs open. There you go. The kitty cats looking out the window. I like that one with the cats. Let's see. And she's got a lovely entryway, if I can find it here. Yeah. Not that one. This one. She's got like a really nice entry to the property. And it's a pretty big place. Like it's a pretty big home, which is good. And it's got like a really big lounge room. Where's the kitchen? Yeah, it's got this huge kitchen. Like you could have family dinners with her son, and here you go, big kitchen area. So she's got like the home's pretty big. So she's got room now hopefully it's got good heating and good cooling in this one. So she's all moved in, all into her new property. So yeah, it's good news for Glitter. I'm glad that thank you for all the people who supported her, gave her some money to her GoFundMe and things like that. I know that she is very appreciative, and if you asked her a month ago if she thought this is how her life would turn out, I'm guessing she probably would have said no, that she would be stuck in that crappy place for forever. So sometimes bad situations turn into better situations. She was very depressed. She got that eviction notice after posting the GoFundMe. Her landlord attacked her and was basically like, get out, because she made a GoFundMe to help move and gave her like 30 days to move. But luckily it turned into a better situation, and she's in a really nice home. She's got a kitchen and plenty of room for the cats, and I love the photo with the cats, right? Look, they're like, oh, look at that yard. This one's sticking its head out the window. It's like, we could go out there. Maybe mum will let us go out there sometime. This place is great. The cats look like they're having so much fun. They're like, oh my god, we have a backyard now. Glitter says it was awful. Yeah. Does she? I don't watch her channel. All I saw was it came up in the comments on Sarah Boone's internal jail communications. I don't know her very well. Glitter says they love to sit there and look at the squirrels and the birds. I bet they do. That's what my cats like to do too. We have a back window here, and they just sit there all day looking at the birds that come into the backyard, and they start chittering. They start trying to mimic the bird, and I'm like, I don't think the bird thinks that you're a bird. I think it knows that you're a cat. You don't sound anything like the bird. I think the bird's like, what is that weird noise? It doesn't sound like one of our own. But yeah, Glitter says my son is happy, my cats are happy, so I am happy. Glitter says that's actually what they were doing right there. They were making that chattering noise. There was a squirrel right there. I'm glad that you're in your new home. I'm glad we could be a small part of that and get you out of that terrible situation you were in, because that was crap. That guy, man, like that guy needs a kick to the head. He does. Like, he is a shit landlord, and I have no qualms in calling him a slumlord. Like, he is literally a slumlord. Like, that's what he is. He's someone who takes advantage of people. He treats them with fear instead of like compassion, and is only there to hoover as much money as he can out of his tenants until they're no use to him, or he thinks he's gonna get in trouble, and then he just boots him to the curb. He is a scumbag. If I had his name, I would plaster it everywhere. He needs to go and get effed. That guy is a scumbag. Yeah, he's awful. He threatened her and said like, "Oh, you make too many complaints and stuff," and then sent her a photo that wasn't even her photo. It was from a different tenant that had a problem, and then tried to blame her for it as a way of kicking her out of the property. He's a asshole. Rachel said, "I hope you can turn that landlord in now." Yeah, I would. Now that you're safe and away from there, and hopefully he doesn't have your forwarding address, you should report him to the board in your state. I know where you live, but I'm not going to say what state it is, but yeah, you should. Robber renter baron, that's what he is. Yes, absolutely. That guy is a slumlord. He's literally perpetrating the stereotype of there are good landlords out there. My landlord is a legend. I've had really bad landlords and I've had good ones, but this one I've got now is a really good guy. Really helps me out a lot, and he's not just in it for the money. So he's a good guy. Glitter says it's not a secret I live in Ohio. All right, well, I like to keep your non-secrets for you. All right. Yeah, there are good landlords and there's some crappy ones too. Like anything with life. All right, let's keep going, my friends. We've got heaps of stories to catch up on. I'm just trying to find this other one. Maybe this one. Someone sent me that there was a missing woman in Texas, but I just want to confirm that it's still active or not. It sounds like they are, up to a few hours ago, they are still searching for a woman out of Marion County. So let me take you over there. There's not a ton of information about it, but her name is Sherry Woods. So I'm going to take you to Sherry Woods' search.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office is looking for a woman who has not been seen since Tuesday. Officials tell us Sherry Woods was last seen walking near this area of FM 729 and Hurricane Creek at Lake of the Pines. Here's two pictures we have tonight of Sherry Woods. She's described as about 5 feet tall and weighs about 100 pounds. She was last seen wearing a blue shirt and was wearing some red pants. The sheriff's office says she usually has reddish brown dog with her named Bear. We've got a picture of Bear right there on the right. If you have any information, call the Marion County Sheriff's Office right away.
So there you go. If Marion County in Texas. So they are looking for that woman. They say she was last seen Tuesday, March 4, around 3 p.m. walking near FM 729 and Hurricane Creek, an area located on the north side of Lake O, the Pines in Marion County. Woods is described as approximately 5 feet tall, weighing around 100 pounds, and was last seen wearing a blue shirt and red pants. She is often accompanied by her reddish-brown dog named Bear. Sheriff said that Bear returned home without her on Friday afternoon. Since receiving the missing persons report, the Marion County Sheriff's Office has been actively working to locate Woods. The search effort has included ground searches by law enforcement and volunteers and canine detection teams, along with drones equipped with thermal imaging and cameras. The Marion County Sheriff's Office extends its gratitude to all agencies and individuals who have assisted in the search efforts. It's interesting that the dog returned home, though. They don't normally do that. They usually stay
Tell us.
with their owner. So it's concerning. There's a photo of her and the dog, by the way. It's concerning that the dog returned home. That's very strange. I do not have guinea pigs. No, why would I have a guinea pig? I don't have guinea pigs. I've got giant lounge panthers. I've got a very rare type of cat. It's called a lounge panther. It basically lives on a lounge and hangs out there. It doesn't hunt for food. It gets given food by its human owners. April B says, I hope they find her again. A woman walking alone. Yeah. Makes me think someone picked her up. Possibly. Yeah, dogs don't usually leave their owners. It's very odd. Let me see if there's anything else on her. Her name is Sherry Woods. I want to check the KSL News out of Texas. Here's another photo of her from KSL. And there's the dog and her. I don't see any updates here. If I change this to newest. No, up to like 37 minutes ago, people still saying, please find her and keeping her in my prayers. So doesn't look like she was located. Let me check their main page. Oh, that's very sad. Funeral set for 2-year-old Ava Ann Marie Tabor. Oh, how very awful. I'll read about that in a minute. Let's see. Apparently a legendary Hayneville coach, Alton Red Franklin, has died. I don't know who that is. Let's see. No. What? It says here, a crematory was shut down after 100 bodies were found improperly stored in Texas. Ugh. Not again. That has happened a few times in America. I'm just trying to see if there's an update about it. Yesterday, the day before. Who's this? No. No. I don't see any more updates about Sherry Woods on here. It looks like their last update may have been the one that I showed you. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. We're going back days and days now. Yeah, there we go. It's the last one. So, no update about this missing woman. The creek near Hurricane Creek. We can have a look. Hurricane Creek in Marion County. So, okay, how deep is it? So it is a gravity flow in a defined channel. Do we have how deep that creek is? I don't have how deep it is, unfortunately. Let me see if I can go to the maps for it. Hurricane Creek. What was that crossroad? Hold on. What was that crossroad in Texas? Oh, FM 729. 729 and Hurricane Creek. 729. I don't know what 729 is, but it's showing me this is Hurricane Creek. Oh, it's very high. Okay, it goes down here. Bethel Road. Okay. So this is Bethel Road here. Here's Hurricane Creek. It's very hard to see. There's some gaps in it. It doesn't look that deep. I mean, it might be deeper in other places, but it's even dry in some parts. Yeah, it doesn't look super... Like, it looks like maybe years ago it was a much deeper river. Yeah, it's even got like, here you go. They've even got like sandbanks in the river. So it can't be that deep. Because if it was much more water, this would not be exposed. So, and it's like that all the way up. Look. There's even some parts here that only have a trickle through it. So even if we go further down, so there's Hurricane Creek. If it goes through here, it looks like it's a little deeper once you cross that area, but not by much. Keep going. Definitely looks like it gets like a deeper river further down the stream. Yeah, where does it lead to? Yeah, let's zoom out. So if we keep going, there's another highway, Highway 15. There's that Hurricane Creek. Where does it go to? Keeps going, and then it goes down and it meets with another creek called Railroad Creek, and they sort of intertwine, probably feed into each other, and they turn into the... I don't know how to pronounce that. They turn into a different river. I don't know how to pronounce that word. So yeah, that's the entire lifespan of that creek. And looks like there's only 2 roads that pass through it. This one here, 15. And then the one further up, which is Bethel. Both of them don't look like super deep. They're both, yeah. There you go. You have 6 male pigeons and 4 females. Nonetheless says, okay, good night, my friend. Probably changes with the amount of rainfall. Well, being that they said it's a gravity-fed creek, so probably. The crematory or the crematory. Well, there you go. Now you know. I don't have any other information other than that, unless it goes further up. Nope, it's sort of... Yeah. There's another road up here, East McHenry, but it sort of looks like it dies off. Yeah, it sort of starts somewhere over here. This looks like the beginning of it right here. Because it doesn't continue north. There's nothing here. See? But when we go south, that's where it says Hurricane Creek. Starts and then goes south. What's this road here? 401A. Government number 401A. Okay, I don't know what that means. I hope she's not fallen in the creek, but it looks maybe like unlikely. Because the creek's just not that deep. You could traverse this in a few days. Well, there's a lot of lumber. A lot of fallen trees. Look at that. These are all fallen trees that have been swept downstream, probably during a flooding event. You can see all these little like branches and tree trunks. Yeah, look at this. There's heaps of them. So they probably got washed downstream during a flooding event. There's quite a lot of them. Wow. Some of it is impassable because of the dead trees. There's a lot of dead trees, but probably pretty common in this part of the world. Yeah, so this river, like they said in the chat, must swell during flooding events and rainfall, because there's no way these trees could pass with such little water. It would have to be way bigger. So I'm guessing it can be a much bigger river at other times. Well, it probably swells out. You can see through here, water definitely went through here at some point with that curve around this little like island here. So yeah, it definitely used to be a bigger river. Probably, yeah, because it's winter right now. Probably during the spring and summer, it's probably a bigger river. But yeah, I can't see why she'd be in this. Yeah, it's not deep enough, I don't think, to hide a body, but you never know. You never know. And it's a pretty big fall if you're going to fall from the roadside or yeah. Yeah, all right. Good night, Snapcrackle. Anything named Bethel is suspect. Cult-like Christian camps and groups. Okay. Lindy said it might have been much deeper if they just had rain there. Did they just have a whole bunch of rain? I think this satellite photo is from recent. Let me see, 2025. It is a recent photo. Normally they update these weekly, daily, pretty often. But you're right, they might have had a localized rain event. But let's just hope she's not in the river. Let's hope that's not the case. So if you're in Bethel, not Bethel, if you're in Marion County, what did they say it was? On the north side of Lake O' the Pines. What the hell is that? Lake O' the Pines. Hold on. So they're saying this lake is the lake. Okay, that's a more bigger body of water. That she could be lost in for sure. That looks more like it. Like if you're going to have some sort of missing person, this looks more like what you would be worried about. Multi-area, like, you know, multiple streams, flooded areas like through here. This is like a flooded bit. Wow, what a huge lake. Okay, this is what you'd be worried about. Is there another creek called Hurricane Creek here, maybe? They said, what they say, the north side of the creek, which is north side of the river, which is like up here. Very industrial. And then you got another, the Ellison Creek Reservoir. So they've got a reservoir up here too. Yeah, okay. This might be a different story. Very impressive. Very impressive. So that's that region. You can see how large it is. Look at this. The Laco Pine stretches all the way up through there. And it's Lone Star. Okay. Yeah, this you could definitely see someone getting lost in for sure. What did they say? Near FM 729 and Hurricane. All right. FM 729, that location is the north side. Okay, so they're saying FM 729 and the creek are on the north side of that river. And there's apparently a bridge. Okay. Rock Springs. So they're saying it's here. This is FM 729 over Hurricane Creek. This creek looks a lot bigger than the other one we saw. Don't know why it sent us to the other one. But that looks like it feeds into that, yeah, Laco Pines. Okay. I wish I had a better view for this for you. I don't think I will be able to find it. Looks like it's down here. Yeah, 729. Okay. All right, so this is 729. And this must be a different Hurricane Creek. Because this is what the map is telling me to go to through here. And this is the bridge where she was last seen. That is a big body of water. You can see like you got like a speedboat on it. Yeah, this looks more concerning. And you can see that river or that whatever this is feeds into this giant body of water. If you got into here somehow, that is a very difficult search. 729 is also down here too. So it crosses twice across this waterway. Yeah, more boats on the water. Yeah, I'd be very concerned. Because I wonder how often they find people in this big waterway. Like often, not at all. It'd be very interesting to know. So there you go. There's 729. There's the bridge. And her dog somehow made it back from this area to her property, but she never made it back. So, yeah, there you go. Lindy says, we have a creek running through here that changes sometimes daily. Well, this is different. This is like a giant freaking lake. It is very oddly shaped, isn't it? But either way, it's a concerning area for an older woman to be lost from. I understand why they are very, very concerned. Yeah, that's bonkers. Look how large this thing is on the map. It's just, where does it go? Nowhere? It just... Surprised there's not like a dam or something attached to it. But it just seems to be a giant lake in the middle of this area in Texas near Lone Star. There you go. So she's lost somewhere around here, and they are looking for this woman. I hope they find her, because that's a very difficult search terrain. All right, let me get out of this. I don't think I have anything else other than that for Sherry. Search continues. Anything 7 hours ago. All right. What are they saying here? They're saying the Marion County Sheriff's Office continues to search for and request the public's help in locating Sherry Woods, who was reported missing on Wednesday, March 5th. She was last seen on Tuesday, March 4 around 3 p.m. walking near FM 729 and an area located on the north side of the Laco Pines in Marion County. The Woods Sherry is described as 5 feet tall, weighing around 100 pounds. But they're not saying anything else. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to hope for the best and hope that they can get her home. Well, why would she take the dog if that's what was going on? You think that you wouldn't want the dog to be lost in the area. She must have been, because the dog was missing and then the dog returned itself to its home and got home. Lindy said, I don't think the dog would have left her unless she's underwater. I agree. I agree with you. I think if she was like, say she had fallen on the riverbank and broken her ankle or something where she couldn't walk, I believe the dog would stay there barking at people, like, you know, cars or people walking, and it would try and get help for its owner. The fact that the dog just went home tells me that it couldn't find her anymore, that it didn't know where she was, so decided to go home and see if she was there. Because dogs are pretty clever. They will stay with their owner for forever. April B said, it sounds like she was doing her daily routine. Definitely sounds like she was just going for her afternoon walk with Bear. But unfortunately, she has not returned home. What time is it? Okay. All right, my ladies and gentlemen, for this Sunday night. By the way, did you guys all watch the Lori Vallow episode of Dateline? I really thought it was like a giant waste of time. I watched it and I was like, so you flew out to Maricopa County, you sat down, got Lori Vallow to agree to an interview, got in the same room with her, and just spent the entire 1 hour episode of Dateline showing us flashbacks to previous episodes. I think we heard Lori Vallow talk for like 3 minutes. It was stupid. It was a waste of time. And Lori doesn't seem... You know how they said they made her mentally competent? I don't think she is. Do you think she is? I don't think so. She spent half the time talking about fairies and how she talks to Jesus and how Jesus visits her in a jail cell and all this crazy stuff. I don't know if it's an act or she really means it. I don't know. But she just seems like the same time waster that she's been the entire time, and the same just off with the fairies, whether it's fake or real, I don't know. Ridiculous. Doesn't want to answer questions. I really believe this upcoming court case in Maricopa County is literally just so she can piss off the family. It's just so she can antagonize them and get her 2 minutes in the spotlight. That's all it is. She wants to be able to talk freely and not through a lawyer. And so she can basically drag the dog and pony show on for weeks at a time. And all it really does is it just victimizes Kresha and her family and the rest of the people. It just victimizes them over and over and over again. It's ridiculous. But what we can hope is we hope the jury is not stupid and they will convict her on this, and we can get some justice for her dead... I'm going to call him her ex-husband, her dead ex-husband, because I feel like he got a little forgotten about with the children, which is understandable. They're kids, but he was a good guy, and everything I've heard about that guy, he's just wanted to do the best by everyone, and he deserves justice just like everyone else. So I hope we get that for him. Kaliza said she knows what she is doing, but she has to pretend in all of it so that she doesn't have to admit she hurt her children. I know when they asked her, "Were you there when Tylee died?" And she's like, "What a sad question. What do you mean? You've been convicted of it. Do you want to talk about it or not?" And then, yeah, it's just time wasting, the whole thing. The better episode on Friday night was the 2020. The 2020 episode with the people from Othram was fantastic. I love that episode. Love seeing the guys from Othram, Kristen and Kristen, yeah, Kristen and Dave Middleman. Love seeing them on the media. Love seeing what they're up to and what they're doing and what new improvements have done to the lab in Texas, and great people. That's the episode you should put your time into and watch what Dave and Kristen are up to. They are great people, both of them. JDR said she herself is just what she does. It's deliberate with Lori. She is awful. She's a very manipulative person. Like they said, she tried to spin a story about how Tylee was very sick. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. Tylee was fine. She was a healthy teenage girl who was probably sick of her mum's crap and was getting ready to probably eventually move out. And her mum didn't like that she was losing control over Tylee and made some story up about, oh, she was getting sick and blah, blah. And then they tried to ask her about, Chad making everyone dark. And she's like, well, did you hear Chad say that to anyone? What do you mean? We have evidence of this happening. What do you mean? Do people just making up call logs now? Witnesses just making everything up to like frame you for it? I don't think so. And then at the end, she said eventually she'll be exonerated and be released from prison. Same with Chad. No. Chad's going to die on death row probably in wherever, I can't remember where they are now, but wherever that state is, he's going to die on death row. He's been sentenced to death. And Lori, you should be thanking your Jesus or whichever one you speak to, and you should be saying thank you that I didn't get the friggin' death penalty, because she was about like this close to getting it. And I do actually think it's substantially unfair that Chad Daybell got it and she didn't. I think that shows a disparity between male and female in the court justice systems, because she didn't face the same penalties but was equally involved in the deaths of her children and pressurizing Chad to kill his wife too, plus the death of her ex-husband. So I think that's unfair. Yeah, she wouldn't have left. Yes, but I mean, I think she was getting sick of her mum's crap. Khalida said Lori is so used to getting away with lies and manipulation, she still thinks it's working. It's to who? I saw straight through this. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a waste of time. She doesn't want to talk about anything real. She just wants to blab on about crap that doesn't mean anything. Hey, Cheryl Huffman, how are you? Chad will get the firing squad? Maybe. It was an F up in the paperwork? Well, whatever it is, it's still not cool. I don't like Chad Daybell as much as the next person, but I still think it's severely unfair. I think like you can't give one person that was in a joint co-conspiracy one thing and then give the other person something else because they talk about fairies. Like he talks about the stupid veil and, oh, I have a ripped veil, it allows me to see the future and I write books about it. You could give him the same diagnosis. Like, I mean, they've both got some sort of shared delusion. The state didn't do it. Well, they should have. I believe they should have both had the same sentence, because you could write the same thing for him, really, and say that he needed to be stabilized or whatever. Is that what happened? I can't remember. It's been a long. I went through Laurie's. Was it Laurie's trial first? Whoever went first, I did the first one, and I listened to hours and hours and hours of court tape every day because I was transcribing it for Trish. And then when we went to do the second one, I was like, oh, I'm out. I'm not doing it again. I already did hundreds of hours of court tape for the first one, and I was like, I'm not watching the second one. Shaw said, yeah, she looked delusional and scary. What was with the eyebrows? I have to ask, what was with the eyebrows? I don't remember having, you know, what's that Grouch guy got called on Sesame Street? Her eyebrows looked bizarre. Like, who did that to her? Who hurt her like that? JDR says majority of those doing the same crimes to the same people, one gets a lesser sentence. I don't think it should have been Lori. Jail makeup, is that what it was? Sharpie pen eyebrow. Bad paint job. Did you guys see it on the interview? If anyone hasn't seen it, I'll show it to you. Hold on. Let's see if I can find a photo for you. She looked bizarre. I swear to God, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of Lori Vallow in my life. Probably too much. Here we go. Did she have some sort of prison non-facelift or something? Like, I don't know what's going on here. Here. There you go. They are, that's bizarre. She looks weird. When I saw her, I was like, what happened? Did jail happen? Is that what happened? Sienna said Lori was first. It must have been Lori's trial that we were. Yeah, that sounds right. Chad's was televised, so no court stuff to go through every night. Yeah, I just was like, I'm out. Like, I've just done so much on these guys that I was just like, I'm not doing it anymore. Lori's trial was hard enough. Carliza said Lori had prison makeup and her facial filler is migrating across her face. Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't do this type of things. She's vain? Maybe. Gayla says, I've seen bits, so I've seen it, but I don't know where to see it all. Where does Dateline put their episodes? Is it on NBC.com? I think so. Loss of Botox. Botox only lasts so long. Maybe they can smuggle some of those, like, whoa, where does Botox come from? Doesn't it come from jellyfish or something? Where does it come from? Or is it botulism? Is it botulism where it comes from? Me. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we can import some botulism and she can, like, do some sort of jail injections. Just like our frog farm, we can have a botulism farm in jail. JDR said, JDR, why Lori got a lesser sentence is beyond me, but they did have documents about it. Yeah, I don't think it's fair, and I hate Chad Daybell at the best of times. I just don't think it's fair. Moonlight View says her eyebrows are a haiku, sending an SOS message. There's something. Gayla says maybe they can smuggle the cement stuff, maybe. Like freeze frame or whatever they call it. Sienna says, is it me or is she looking worse every time we see her? Look, I don't want to make fun of women who age. I don't think that's funny. I think, like, you know, all women age and so do men. But she definitely looks more bizarre every time we see her. And I don't get why. It's weird. Like when I go through, when I was going through the Sarah Boone messages and I was seeing the things that she was ordering, like I know you can't get Botox in jail, but they have some ordering things that you can bring in. Like I don't know why Lori can't, but I saw Sarah Boone. She was ordering from this place and that place, and she had like the canteen that she could order from, but also outside companies where you can order and send it in. I was like, maybe Lori can get some Revlon or something. I don't know. Instead of using like Sharpie texture. But whoever did her eyebrows, they look bizarre. It's like they're so far down her eye face, like the eye lift here, like the brow line. They're so far down. It's almost like, what happened? Send her some damaged and bulging canned goods. Maybe. Gayla says, have you seen the cement filler? I watched a program where they were trying to remove it from someone's face. Oh, like the girls in like South America and that they were injecting all oils and things. Yeah, I have seen that. Cully's, yeah, migration, facial filler migration is happening to famous people as well. They have to get it fixed. It's becoming a big problem for people who've had a lot of work done. They're all going to start looking like Lori Vallow, apparently. Is that what's going to happen? We're going to have many Lori Vallows. Gayla says her brow line has melted downwards. Yeah, her whole face has migrated. It's migrated. Well, I mean, she did go south to Arizona. Maybe the Arizona heat is melting her fillers. I don't know. But yeah, when I saw her on the Dateline, I was like, who is this person? That's not Lori Vallow. She also has that bizarre lipstick on again. That really wrong color for this type of woman. She's got this real like dull red. That's almost like she got a M&M, a red M&M, dipped it in water and rubbed it on her lips and went, yes, I look wonderful. Give me some lip gloss so I can seal it in. And that's what happened. Glitter says maybe it's part of her judgment for being so vain. Maybe. April B said the fillers in her face are definitely shifting and not doing her any favors. Yes. She's right up the road. Yes, Jojo, go visit her. Throw her some Botox across the fence. Juicy Jules says Ruff is right. Lori's skin sagging. Thinks she's younger than me. 66. Yeah, she is younger than you. Gail says I can hear her as a wicked witch of the west. I'm melting. I'm melting. Carlisa said they actually use Skittles to color their lips in jail. I'd be so more impressed if she used the green one or the purple one. I think it would go down way better than the bloody red one because it looks terrible. Jolly Rancher lipstick. It's not good. She's 51. She's many years of 51. Jojo said that jail is terrible. I hear my best friend was in it recently. Hugney says throw her some Botox over the fence. Yeah, just throw it like a pass. You like Hail Mary it to her. See if she'll catch it. She's like, I've got my face out. Just hit me in the corner of the, the temple. It's okay. I've done this before. It's fun to make fun of people, but at the same time, she's done some very serious crimes who, unfortunately, I do feel for Kresha and her family. It's not cool what she's doing in the court itself. And you heard her in this interview. She was so impressed with herself. Oh, I've got all my arguments ready. And, it's very tough representing yourself. So get a corner-pointed lawyer if you're not smart enough. That's what they're there for. You don't have to do it. The only reason you want to do it is because you want to piss off your victims. That's all it is. It's the only thing. It's the only reason she wants to do it. Jojo says her friend was there for 2 weeks. When I asked her about Lori, she said, who is that? She's not even famous in her own jail. Juicy Joel says, yeah, there's cement filler. That's awful. JDR said she would only see a person while in jail if you want to hear her spread her cult beliefs. Yeah, she was saying also, apparently Dateline didn't want to air what she was saying in the interview. Apparently they said that she was so whacked out and saying all sorts of crazy stuff that they just cut it out of the episode and did not air it because she wouldn't talk in real terms. She wouldn't talk about a sentence. She wouldn't talk about the upcoming court case. She wouldn't talk about evidence that had been corroborated. She wouldn't talk about what happened to Tylee. She wouldn't talk about JJ. She wouldn't talk about what happened in Arizona. She wouldn't talk about anything seriously. She just kept coming up with these excuses and fanciful stories. It was really disappointing because I thought maybe since they mentally corrected her or whatever they did, that she might actually speak like a normal person. But no, she's not. She's still talking about how fairies visit her in her jail cell and how she's Jesus' favorite person, and I don't know. And how her and Chad have known each other for 9 lives or some crazy thing, 22 lives or something. Retired RN said her son Colby had some interesting things to say about the interview. Yeah, I heard he's got his own podcast now. Good for him. Hugney says Sounds like a mission to get what they did. It was. Watch the episode. You see them fast forward to it. They're like, and it's just Laurie blabbing on about how Tylee was very ill, and some story about her being deathly ill. Thavi says, I refuse to watch that Dateline episode. Yeah. So I hope she understands that people don't think she's some big celebrity. Everyone can't wait for her downfall because of what she did to those children and the other people in her life. And her and Chad will never, ever, ever step foot on the outside world ever again together. I hope she knows that because it's never going to happen. She's never going to be exonerated. Not a chance in a freaking hell. JDR said that the fairies visit everyone. Why does she think she is special? Yeah, man, they come visit me all the time, every day. Poor Megan was crying while watching it. It must be very hard for the people who are intimately involved. It really must. And I all I can do is send, I check in on Kresha from time to time, and I speak to her here and there, and yeah, I try to, and I just don't want to be a distraction to her show, so I just sort of pop in and say, hey, how are you? Are you doing okay? Good. I'll speak to you next time. I have asked her to come on this channel, but so far I haven't had a reply. But she may be busy doing everything with doing everything with this thing going on right now. No, they will be exonerated. Just ask her. Well, yeah, she says it in the episode. She's like, "Oh, me and Chad will be exonerated." Not a freaking chance. All right, let's get out of here for the night. I leave you with the face of Laurie Vallow. I leave you with it. Remember, you can order your Loinfire tonight on our special hotline. Get your 200ml bottle, and if you call in the next 30 minutes, you can get a second 200ml bottle of Loinfire for only $9,999. It's very special, developed by Chad. His Loinfire is now available to all people who want it. Put the cat pics back. Fine. Yeah, I'll put the cat pics back before we go. Wait, where are they? I've got one of the home. Where's one of the kitty cats? Oh no, we've lost the one with the cats. Is it here? Nope. We've got far too many tabs open, everyone. I can't do that, but I can show you Glitter's home again. There you go. All right, let me check one thing, then I'm getting out of here. All right, my friends, I love you very much. Show Muffin. He's sleeping, unfortunately. Muff. No, he's curled up in a ball on his bed. I promise you, I'll show you more Muffin, and maybe Rory's asleep as well. When they're up and active next time, I'll bring him up on the desk and get him to kiss the camera again. Sometimes he likes to smooch the camera while you guys are watching. Maybe tomorrow he'll be up and about, but he's having a siesta right now. Hey, I love you all so very much. Thank you to all the people who support this channel, to the lovely people like my friend Carolina. Good to see you again, my friend. I'm so glad that you dropped by. I'm glad you are feeling a little bit better. And to all the people who support this channel on a nightly basis, whether you visit, whether you chat, or you watch the entire episode, whatever you do, I appreciate it. And to the people who send in donations and super chats, thank you very much to you all. It helps out a lot. And we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow night. Who knows what we'll find out about the caravan story tomorrow? Maybe we'll have good news about Sophia tomorrow. You never know what stories are going to be talked about first thing on a Monday morning tomorrow. Monday morning is always a big day in America, so we may get updates for everything. Have a good night. Remember, you're free on the outside, and Laurie Vallow's in a hot jail in Maricopa. So just remember, you have it better than she does, and enjoy your life out there on the outside. Good night, everyone. Bye.